The first El Clásico of the season is upon us. The Stallions will look to stay perfect against Nelson and Co. And one of Jamaica's best footballers is up for another award. All this and more on this Match Week 5 preview show. Yeah, people, welcome back to JPL Fan. And we are already at Match Week 5 in the JPL. And we got some tantalizing matches this weekend. Starting with the season first and Clásico. Waterhouse versus Arnett Gardens. How a world of a difference 2 weeks make in football. 2 match weeks ago, there were some junglers already calling for new head coach Philip Williams' head after the former Portmore United boss lost to Cavalier. Now moving on to match week 5, Williams has righted the ship for now and is looking for the junglers to kick on from here. Last week's performance was especially satisfying since they beat the previously unbeaten Chapelton Maroons on the road, but they also did it with a clean sheet. Furthermore, their important players all seem to be now fully fit and ready to take Arnett back up the table. Also, they will be playing their 5th straight game on the road when they step into what should be an intimidating Jews land for this season's first El Clásico. Waterhouse were looking like a fairly decent team until they were on the end of a smash and grab from Harbourview last week. Once more, it was another loss at home, something that hurt their playoffs hopes mightily last season. But this is one fixture that stings the most if you lose, and they may have to take on Arnett's potent attack while dealing with a mini centre-back crisis. Nashan Bolt is suspended and it's unlikely Elvis Wilson will be back this weekend. But whoever is available, Firehouse must avoid a similar record to last season where they lost all 3 matches against the Junglers. They are yet to be a dull in Clásico, so expect fireworks when Waterhouse hosts Arnett Gardens 7:30 this Monday night. Phoenix Chapelton Maroons versus Punishtown Police FC. The Maroons were on cloud 9 during the first 3 weeks of the season, but crashed back down to reality thanks to their defeat to the Junglers. No, not saying they are all of a sudden trending towards relegation, but the way they lost could be of concern. Arnett sat up in a conservative shape and denying the Maroons space in behind. They also had no problem giving the Maroons the ball and invited them to break down a mid to low block. The plan worked as the Maroons look uncomfortable in their efforts to generate chances. It could all be a one-off, or maybe it's a solid blueprint in how to play the Maroons. It will also be interesting to see Police FC, who are without any points after 4 games, opt to use the same plan. They are in an interesting dilemma. Do they set up in a difficult to break down shape, or should they be a bit more aggressive in their approach since goal scoring has been a major problem since their promotion? We will get our answer when Chapelton Maroons take on Police FC 5 p.m. this Monday. Dumbo Holding versus Racing United. The Maroons are no longer perfect, which means there remains only one. Racing came back from a tricky trip to St. Elizabeth last weekend and will be hoping to keep their early winning streak going with another tricky team in Dumbo Olin. Racing have been a lot more direct in their approach this season, often looking for their attackers to stretch the field and pick up long passes to generate their goal-scoring opportunities. But it has been the continual work rate of their midfield that has really paved the way for their success so far. No, they will face an opponent this weekend who will also be using a lot of long passes. That has been the new look Dumbo Olin so far under new head coach Arnett Gardens, and it has provided them mixed results so far. Their use of it is a lot more simpler compared to Racing's because they would generally only look to find one target, and that's Nicholas Nelson. Lucky for them, the striker is on form and he will be the obvious threat to Racing's perfect record this weekend. As for their recent head-to-head record, Racing won last season's 3-game series with 2 wins and 1 draw. A Portmore derby is always a must-watch, so don't miss out on Dumbo Olin taking on Racing United this Sunday at 3 p.m. Portmore United versus Montego Bay United. Racing may be perfect, but they ain't league leaders. That honor currently belongs to Montego Bay United, who have looked rather impressive under new head coach Xavier Gilbert. They were at their fluent best against Tivoli in their last match, and that was without new striker Jamari Clark. No word if Clark will return this weekend, but Jordan Fletcher has proven that he is just as dangerous. But Mobay's most dangerous attacker right now is actually Dwight Merrick, who looks a player reborn after his summer move to the nation's second city. But maybe this high-flying attack will face the greatest test yet as they travel to take on Portmore's ultimate defense. Portmore squeaked by newly promoted Police FC in their last match, but they came away with another clean sheet. With the exception of their travels to Chapelton, that defense has been looking as solid as ever, but it's the attack that continues to worry fans. Coach Rudolph Austin's solution to the problem may be to start last week's goal scorer Orlando Russell, or to better find a way to get new striker Peter McGregor a little more involved when they go forward. As a neutral, I just want a goal from anywhere after these two teams are unbelievably goalless in the last 3 meetings between them. We will all be hoping when Portmore United takes on Montgomery United this Sunday at 5:30 p.m. Cavalier vs Treasure Beach. The defense of their title has been anything but smooth for the Dunkin' Destroyers as they work their way through a squad rebuild. They have shown brief flashes of their old Cavalier selves here and there, but individual errors, especially at the back, has been a constant plague in recent weeks. Maybe it's a confidence issue, and if so, it should be fixed now after their massive victory in the CONCACAF Caribbean Cup this past Wednesday night. Confidence issues may also be at the core of the next opponent, Treasure Beach, so far in this campaign. The team from St. Elizabeth has been a competitive team in their first 4 matches and really should have more points as a result of their recent performances. I mean, if expected goals was tracked in this league, I'm quite sure Treasure Beach will be near the top in that field. Their strikers need to be more clinical in front of goal, especially against the bigger teams, if they have any desire to remain a top-flight club. Also, both head coaches, Rudolph Speed and Kemar Ricketts, know each other well, so this game should also be fascinating on the tactical side of things. As for their last meeting, Cavalier actually went berserk and scored 5 without conceding any, so this will also be a revenge mission of sorts for Treasure Beach. Let's see if they can pull it off when Treasure Beach FC travels to Sabina Park to take on Cavalier 3:30 p.m. this Sunday. Cavalier Gardens vs Maroons United. Tivoli were completely outplayed and outfought in the first half of their match against Montgomery United, and while they salvaged some pride in the game's second half, they know they can't have another start to a match like that again. But their biggest issue is the lack of players. Tivoli have been struggling to even find enough healthy players to fill out the bench on match days. This includes star player Nicola Fuller, who is still nursing an injury, but they do have the likes of Nathan Thomas returning to help provide coverage in midfield. Also, more importantly, they returned to the Edward Siaga complex this weekend where they went unbeaten at the end of last season. But their opponents this weekend, Maroons United, will also see this as the best time to play Tivoli in Tivoli. They themselves have the unusual job of incorporating several new players after the transfer window closes. They brought in Nigerian Wisdom Ubani last week, and this week he's joined by compatriots midfielder Samson Oke and left back Michael Adube. All 3 Nigerians might see the field this weekend as Maroons looks to recover from their lackluster showing in their last match against Dumbo Olin. As for the recent head-to-head record, Tivoli dominated last season's series, winning all 3 games. But can Maroons create the upset this time around? We will see for ourselves this Sunday when Tivoli Gardens hosts Maroons United 3 p.m. at the Edward Siaga complex. So that's it for this week's matches, but before my predictions, here are some local news. Mount Pleasant once again was given a bye from JPL duties as their match with Harbour View has been postponed due to the Mount Pleasant travelling to Trinidad for a Caribbean Cup match this week. But in bigger Mount Pleasant news, former players Sule McCullough, Devontae Campbell and Romain Blake have all officially been revealed as new RAEC Mons players. The Belgium 3rd Division club will be the new home for the 3 Jamaicans, with speculation remaining high that goalkeeper Shaquan Davis will join them in the near future. Alright, from current stars to future stars now, as FIFA in partnership with UNESCO and JFF had an official launch for the Football for Schools program at the JFF Technical Center this past Thursday. The program was designed to empower children worldwide. The initiative combines football and education to build skills for life on and off the pitch. And finally, Jamaica's very own Khadija Bonnie Shaw has been nominated for the 2024-2025 CONCACAF Women's Player of the Year award. Shaw made history with Jamaica and Manchester City by becoming the first CONCACAF player to win the PFA Women's Player of the Year award in 2024. The forward was also named Player of the Year in the WSL and FWA awards and nominated for the Best FIFA Women's Player of 2024. Shaw finished the season with our club as the WSL Golden Boot winner, scoring 12 goals. Fans can cast their vote to help her achieve victory in the award show, and I will provide a link to where you can vote in the description below. Okay, that's the news. Now on to the predictions. Alright, first up is the Clásico, a bit tricky, but Arnett does have the better recent record. But I think it's going to be a draw. I say Waterhouse 1, Arnett Gardens 1. Alright, Chapelton taking on Police FC. Chapelton would love to bounce back from their loss to Arnett last week, but I think Police will make this competitive. But I think Chapelton will squeak by 2-0 over Police. Alright, Dumbo versus Racing. I think the form that Nelson is currently in, he will score, but I think Racing will be too strong for their Portmore rivals. So I think Racing will win this one 2-1 over Dumbo Holland. Alright, Portmore versus Montego Bay United. You know what? This is probably the easiest one to call. Their last 3 meetings have all ended 0-0. So I will say it's a draw, 0-0, and even if there are goals, it will be 1-1. So it will be a draw, but I'll go with 0-0 for now. Alright, Cavalier versus Treasure Beach. Treasure Beach made a good showing the last time they went on their travels to Montego Bay, so I think they will make this interesting. But I think Cavalier will squeak by with a 2-1 victory over Treasure Beach. Alright, and then Tivoli versus Malines. Tivoli are not in their best shape, but they are a different team when they play at the Edward Siaga complex. I also think this will be a 2-1 victory for Tivoli over Malines. But alright guys, let me know in the comment section below what you think are my predictions or what are your predictions for the match scores this weekend. But otherwise, please like, subscribe and share as we look to keep you all up to date on everything on the JPL leading up to the final in May. Otherwise, for great JPL content, you're already at the right place. JPL fan. YouTube, pick up yourself.